Hey, shalom, family. I'm here again to pick up where I left off. Once again, to continue, brothers and sisters. So this is gonna be the final part. This dealing with to show you the facts of Ezekiel chapter 43 that the words of Yah told unto the prophet Ezekiel, and then we go back and rehearse on Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1 to 22, or the whole chapter. You can see the New Testament is 100% false, brothers and sisters, because they plainly tell you that this Jesus Christ came to die for your sins and once for all, and that He's greater than the law, brothers and sisters, and that He cleansed you, and your sins was forgiven once and for all, brothers and sisters, and that there never be another offering for sin, brothers and sisters. And so when you get into this, you can see when the third temple will be built, brothers and sisters, that we got to go back. Yes, and the Zadok priest got to rededicate, not rededicate, but make atonement for the altar, for the priest, and for all the people as well, brothers and sisters, by animal blood offerings. And then Abiyah said He will receive us. And the New Testament totally speaks against this. And that was the purpose for the Christ to come, to do away with this, the law for Abiyah forever. But you're going to see that New Testament has nothing to do with the words of Yah. Let's get it, brothers and sisters. Chapter 43, I'm going to start off where I left off in verse 10, and it reads, as the son of dust, describe the temple I have shown you to the people of Israel. Yah, tell them its appearance and its plans, that they will be ashamed of their sins. If they are truly ashamed of what they have done, then explain to them the details of its construction, its doors and entrance, and everything about it. Write out all the directions and the rules for them to keep. And this is the basic law of the temple, the Kodesh, the entire top of the hill where the temple is built is Kodesh. Yes, this is the primary law concerning it. I'm going to go over and read verse 18 of the same chapter 43 of Ezekiel to 27. And it reads, and he said to me, son of dust, Yahweh say, these are the measurements of the altar to be made in the future. See that? To be made in the future, right here. 18. And he said to me, son of the man, Yahweh say, these are the measure of the altar to be made in the future. Keep that in mind. When it erected for the burnt offering and for the sprinkling of the blood upon it. At that time, the Zadok family of the Levite tribe, who are my messengers, who are my ministers, are to be given. See, let me read that. 19. At that time, the Zadok family of the Levite tribe, who are my ministers, are to be given a bullock for a sin offering. You should take some. See that? You should take some of its blood and spit on the four horns of the altar and the four corners of the top of the platform, and carve around it. This will cleanse and make atonement for the altar. You see that? And take the bullock for the sin offering and burn it at the appointed place outside of the temple area. The second day, offer a young male goat kill a young male goat without any defect, without sickness, deformities, and without cuts or scars for a sin offering. And thus the altar shall be cleansed, as it was by the bullock. When you have finished this cleansing ceremony, offer another perfect bullock and a perfect ram from the flock. Present them before Yah, and the priest shall sprinkle salt upon them as the burnt offering. It's every day for 7 days, a male goat, a bullock, and a ram from the flock should be killed as a sin offering. None are to have any defects or unhealthiness of any kind. Do this each day for 7 days to cleanse and make atonement for the altar, thus consecrating it. And on the 8th day, Let's get that. 7. On the 8th day, and on each day afterwards, the priest will offer on the altar the burnt offering and thank offering of the people, and I will accept you, says Yah Barah. You get that, brothers and sisters. When they do these things, I'm going to read a little bit more and show you, brothers and sisters. These people speak against the words of Yah. I'm telling you, all of that stuff they did and said in all that stuff they said and did in the New Testament is further from the truth, brothers and sisters. It's a 100% lie. And brothers and sisters, and that's what they did to us, brothers and sisters, and that's how they did our people. Because 44 and verse 5 reads, and Yah said to me, son of dust, notice carefully and use your eyes and ears, listen to all that I tell you about the laws and the rules of the temple and of the priests. Remember they said how you could go into, you remember my earlier video, in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament, they tell you, Christ did all these things for you. Now you got access, you can walk right on into the thrones, and into the, they said the holies of holies, the Gadesh place of the creator of heaven and earth. That's so further from the truth, it ain't funny. These are the laws, and see right here, I read this photo to show you the laws of Yah concerning the temple. It's saying the law of the rules of the temple of Yah. It said, note carefully who may be admitted to the temple and who is to be excluded from it. And say to these rebels of the people of Israel, Yah Barah said, O Israel, you have sinned greatly by letting the uncircumcised into my temple, those who have no heart for Barah. When you offer me my food, the fat and the blood, thus you have broken my covenant in addition to all the other sins. It said, you have not kept my laws I gave you concerning the Kodesh affairs, for you have hired foreigners to take charge of my temple. It said, Yah say, no foreigners of all the many among you shall enter my temple, if he has not been circumcised and does not love Yah. I'm reading this according to this translation, and the men of the tribe of Levi who abandoned me when Israel strayed away from Barah to idols must be punished for their unfaithfulness. And they may be temple guards and gatemen, and they may slay the animal brought for burnt offerings and be presented to help the people. But because they encourage the people to worship the Elohims and cause Israel to fall into deep sin, I have raised my hand and taken oath, says Yah Barah, that they must be punished, and they should not come near me to minister as priests. They may not touch any of my Kodesh things, for they must bear their shame for all the sins they have committed. They are the temple caretakers, and to do maintenance work and to assist the people in general ways. However, the son of Zadok of the tribe of Levi continue as my priest in the temple when Israel abandoned me for idols. These men shall be my ministers, and they shall stand before me to offer fat and blood of the offerings, say Yah Barah. You get that, brothers and sisters? These are the words of Yah. Let me read 16. And they shall enter my temple and come to my table to minister to me, and they shall fulfill my requirements. See, brothers and sisters, these are the true words of Yah, brothers and sisters. Everything Yah say is not what the New Testament say, brothers and sisters. Read carefully Hebrews chapter 10, brothers and sisters. Read the whole thing and see all the words. Statement after statement. After statement is false. Even from the words, they give you the words of their Savior mouth, of Jesus Christ, the Christ. And our Hebrew people go right behind it and come up with all other names, use Hebrew names that the Hebrews had before the lies came out and then insert them right there. That's all the Hebrew people do today, out of ignorance. But when you read it carefully, they would never match up. Right here, when the new temple become, Abba said he gonna